Hello everybody, this is Guy Midkiff on Big Mike Interviews and Commentary, found in the great city of Washington, Missouri on Washmo.com. Today is December the 16th, 1773. In 1770, American protests led to a Parliament's repeal of the Townshend duties. Except for the duty on tea retained by the British as a matter of principle, the colonists demonstrated their displeasure with the remaining tax by drinking smuggled tea. The effectiveness of American resistance was shown in the precipitous decline in tea sales in the colonies over the next 3 years, a total of some 70%. In 1773, Parliament passed a Tea Act, which gave the English East India Company a chance to avert bankruptcy by granting a monopoly on the importation of tea into the colonies. The new regulations allow the company to sell tea to the colonists at a low price, lower than the price of smuggled tea, even including the required duty. The British reasoned that the Americans would willingly pay the tax if they were able to pay a low price for the tea. On December the 28th, the Dartmouth arrived in Boston Harbor with a cargo of Darjeeling tea. Samuel Adams and the other radicals were determined that the cargo would not be landed in the city. His mobs roamed the streets in the evenings, threatening violence if challenged by the authorities. Governor Thomas Hutchinson was equally belligerent and vowed not to capitulate in the face of public opposition, as it happened in other colonies. Two other ships, the Beaver and the Eleanor, arrived with more consignments from the East India Company. Hutchinson remained firm and stated that the cargoes would be brought ashore and taxed in compliance with the law. The Tea Act required that the requisite tax be collected within 20 days of a ship's arrival, making December 16th the deadline. Samuel Adams kept the public fervor high by holding public meetings in the Old South Meeting House. Crowds as large as 5,000 clogged the surrounding streets. At one of these gatherings, a resolution was adopted that asked the consignees to return the tea. Those tea agents, some of them relatives of the governor, refused to do so. And on December the 16th, the owner of the Dartmouth agreed to sell his ship back to England. This opportunity to ease tensions was abruptly ended, however, when British officials denied permission of the ship to clear the port and began preparation to seize the vehicle for non-payment of tax. That evening, the ship owner reported his inability to depart from Boston Harbor to the throngs, and due to the throngs, at the Old South. With that news, Adams gave a signal to the group, and a loud Indian war whoop broke out. A group of some 50 men, unconvincingly disguised as Mohawk Indians, moved the short distance to Griffin's Wharf, where the three ships were moored. The vehicles were boarded, the cargo carefully taken from the holds and placed on the decks. There, 342 chests were split open and thrown into the harbor. A cheering crowd on the deck shouted its approval for the brewing of this saltwater tea. The Tea Party was quickly restaged in other port cities in America and tended to polarize the cities in a widening dispute. Patriots and Loyalists became more ardent about their views. Parliament and King chafed at the destruction of private property and the deliberate flouting of royal authority. They would soon turn to a sterner action. And that's the way it was back in December the 16th. 1773. This has been Big Mike Interviews and Commentary with Guy Midkiff on Washmo.com.